Welcome to my channel S.T.A.R.S, which means Special Tactics and Rescue Squad. What I do is I make unit compositions, meaning I combine two war bands together to get an effect on hypothetical to practical scenarios in Conquerors Blade. And today I will be showing you the ISG and Stalwart combo. First things first, I'm going to show you how to get up siege ramps with two shielded units. What you basically want to do is right when you go up the ramp and you see your opening, you want to split into two line formations going left and right to create a trench style formation. What this is going to do is allow your team to get up safely and also guarding the flanks while pushing the main objective. That was the point of this to be made, because if you don't do this and can't get up to the point, none of this duo strategy here will even matter. Now, I'm going to be showing it to you on a live server. We're going to do the same strategy. We're going to have our shield units to the left and to the right. I'm going to make a bit of a mistake here because I got the orders mixed up and I was supposed to actually get the right. So I'm going to correct this mistake, reverse charge, and then go back into line formation. And this is exactly the effect that we wanted. We need to cut off two ends of the army because when you're in the middle of the T, you will die. And the T is basically this position, is when you're going up the ramp and there's a right road and a left road. And what we did was we just manipulated the T for our benefit. Most people say we're going to clog them at that hole. Well, we won't allow it. We will push them out and stop their flanking attacks. So, time to show you what happens in the T for real. When you're in the middle of the T and you do not do this formation, your hand is forced. So we're going to go ahead and force the situation. We're going to go ahead and take it. So my buddy is going to go up first with his ISGs and my Stalwarts will follow up behind him. And this is the biggest problem here. It's such a messy battle. There's no control and all of our flanks are exposed. And because we did not choose that specific style because of the way we had to push, that right flank is going to completely collapse us. So anybody who finishes this assault should be doing that trench style formation. Now, just to show you that trench style formation again, I'm going to go ahead and go up these siege ramps and block the left and right one more time. And as you can see, they've already set up on the right flanks and everything. And yeah, I understand everybody's afraid to take damage, especially when you're the first one in, because, well, you're the first one in, meaning you're the first casualty rate coming up, which is why it's important for most shield units to not be afraid of damage like that. Yeah, don't get hit recklessly, but at the same time, like, you can't not be doing your job. You know, that's what these classes were basically designed for. And as you can see with the trench style, there is no amount of range or certain units that'll bust through this. And look at that, our shielded units can get across quick while I took most of the brunt of the grape shots. So now I'm going to show you how to break choke points and what the point of the video is. So my buddy is going to be the ISGs. I'm going to be playing Stalwarts right now. The way the strategy works is that we need to get to them inch by inch, but also that the ISGs are going to create space and the Stalwarts are going to abuse that space within the Stalwart formations when they're in their cover commander. So the ISG should be in cover commander pushing that objective, but if they can't get any further, then get your ISGs to push their formations inside a little bit, but not too much, and go right back into cover commander, and the Stalwarts will follow up behind them and brace inside that formation like basically like a leapfrog. And of course, not all not all assaults will be in favor of us, because at the beginning of the game, everybody is so properly set up. So we're gonna go ahead and come back and get some more units. Now that we have more units, we're going to go ahead and hit this spot a second time just to show you that just to show you the capability of it breaking position slowly. But remember, take it inch by inch. ISG allows space to be covered, and the Stalwarts get inside that space and abuse it. So ISGs make position, Stalwarts abuse position. You need these two together. And I know people will say, well, why not use two Stalwarts? Stalwarts are so easily moved by everything, like whether it be a maul or a short sword and shield, depending on what the situation is. That's why I brought the ISGs in over a second group of stalwarts, because they have way more tanking abilities and their bottom tree just bashes units out the way, and it just breaks most stalwart positions anyways, which is why this is a hammer and anvil strat. So just to show you again on another choke point, we're going to go ahead and be part of the main assault here. So the biggest problem with this is it cannot work without a good team, at least a good assault team, because we're basically going to go in there by ourselves with probably with what little ranger units we have and whatever stalwarts we have left. So my buddy's going to push the objective, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to brace. He's pushing all of those units right out, and I'm just going to enter in, just bracing inside their position. Just to show you the consistency of this, our own team trebbed us, so you know it's a live server when your own team trebs you. So we're going to get into this pitch battle with them. My buddy's going to make position, and I'm going to go ahead and brace inside that position. And as you can see, it's a very slow type of battle, really just a battle of attrition. But we're going to eventually break through this because they probably did not have the proper support behind the ISGs because they're missing their stalwart unit. They have no damage because any ISG is useless without a damage support. And basically stalwarts is damage and they're their own support in a way. So same thing, he's going to take his position, creating space. I'm going to go ahead and fuse that position with inside. And with that, we're going to take the point like nothing. And I'm sure the bottom team right now, with the way the meta's been going because of the seasonal seals, he's going to blatantly just keep going up with his stalwarts and whatever tank unit is there. But at this point, they've completely lost whatever advantage they have. So if you're on the bottom team trying to come up, don't even try, especially when you don't have the proper units to even stack it up. Two stalwart units wasn't even going to break this at all because the ISGs are so infuriating that they wouldn't allow most stalwarts to pass anyways. Now, I'm going to show you what it's like to do ground combats. Now, the biggest problem with these is Calvary is so rampant in this game. I don't even understand how it's so rampant. And this is going to make a lot of people annoyed, but Calvary was never good in a siege. They've been like the only times I've ever heard of Calvary being good against anything is usually people who are using hammer and anvil strats, which is more of a sophisticated strategy. And if you wanted to learn more about it, it would be Alexander the Great's type of strategy. He did a hammer and anvil strat with phalangites and cavalry. But in sieges, it makes no sense for us here, at least because they have such little avenues and such little room to work with, which is why we should understand that we need to get in a big square formation and make sure all sides are secure. Cavalry is only good at running over disorganized people. That's the biggest thing about Calvary, especially from back then to today, because there isn't a difference between back then people and today right now. Right now, at this part of the game, if you're not in a really sophisticated team, I assume, that essentially, this is the game that's going to play out, but we're getting defeated no more less than the peasants who were fighting those earlier wars, because they would always get run over by cavalry and they couldn't do anything. They get run over because they had sloppy unit formations and nobody stayed disciplined. It wasn't until later that Swiss pikes would come in, basically make the Gervalten, which is the bloody. I think it was called the Heap of Murder, because they would adopt a square formation and have pikes on all end, and cavalry just stopped becoming effective after that because they realized individual training is no match for group formations and discipline, which is why cavalry should honestly be falling short in these sieges. And to be fair with you, they weren't wrong back then. We're the same peasants getting run over before we actually had a counter for this. So just to reiterate on everything we've done here, make sure you do a trench style formation when going up ramps, because it's the only way to secure positions on the left and right of the T. Another important part, make sure you keep your discipline, meaning don't move around everywhere and secure that position you have. Whatever side is the weakest, you need to secure it. And also use the ISG and Stalwart combo to break choke point positions. And that's what initially it was designed to do for this type of tactic to work, is that we're abusing ISG CCs and we're using the stalwart brace and we're using them on top of each other so that we can gain an effect on choke points and also allowing the other team to do their jobs. And that is all for my video, which was the ISG and Stalwart combo and how to get up siege ramps and how to break choke points and also how to deal with cavalry when on bigger ground level combat like this. Like and subscribe my video if you like my stuff, and I will make more unit compositions for you later.